Southern Pacific employees look with pride as their glamorous streamliners go by. Serving a golden empire, these trains comprise one of the nation's greatest fleets of modern passenger trains. Manned by capable, experienced crews, they continue to roll up amazing records of speed with safety and dependability. These trains and their personnel have done much to build Southern Pacific's position as one of the major transportation systems of the world. The heavy freights, the iron workhorses of the railroad, are the breadwinners, producing over 80% of Southern Pacific's revenue. They are doing a big job, serving the market centers of the growing West. This task daily requires hundreds of locomotives hauling thousands of cars. But railroad transportation is more than cars and engines. It's people. It's the brakeman, alert, watching his train for any sign of trouble. It's the conductor responsible for the safety of his crew and his train. And at the head end, it's the engineer and the fireman, ever vigilant and watchful, upon whose judgment so much depends. Day after day, everywhere on the railroad, teams like this are contributing to a nationwide record of safety that has made railroad transportation the safest and the best in the world. Railroad men hold this record by maintaining physical fitness, safeguarded by frequent medical examination. By keeping well informed of operating rules by regular attendance at classes in the rules instruction car. By frequent attendance at safety meetings where discussions are held on safe operating practices. Many of these are informal meetings, often held on the job between breaks in the work. Others are held in safety instruction cars that tour the system. As a result of the thousands of safety suggestions received at these meetings, conditions and methods of operation are being constantly improved. The prominent display of safety posters is helping both old and new employees think safety on the job. Thinking safety begins early with the transportation man. During his student period, he is under the guidance of experienced men who train him in safe operating procedure. From his first day on the job, the new man is shown the safe way to do each of the many operations that will make up his daily activity. And finally, after his training period, each man must pass an examination testing his knowledge of operating and safety rules. With heavier freight traffic and necessary expansion of terminal facilities, Southern Pacific is introducing new methods of yard communications. From his tower above the yard, it is now possible for the yard master to observe and direct the movement of many engines. By use of telephone, radio, and public address systems, he is in constant touch with engines and crews throughout the area. With radio dispatch switchers, industries are better served, unnecessary moves are eliminated, cars are turned off and delivered to customers hours sooner. With the nation's population trend ever westward, industry has mushroomed in the territory served by Southern Pacific. New plants, locating daily on SP rails, have increased the demand for freight cars. Shortages of steel have delayed the delivery of much-needed new rolling stock. But in spite of this, resourceful and efficient employees have enabled Southern Pacific to keep pace with increasing transportation needs. For instance, SP's industrial clerks, by working closely with shippers, are expediting the loading of the rapid turnoff of cars, helping to stretch the available supply of equipment. Cars are sealed, and records are kept from the moment they are turned over to the railroad. Destination of each car is indicated by a coded tag which simplifies the making up of trains and the handling of cars in terminals. In areas outside terminal limits, local freights serve industries, delivering and gathering cars and bringing them to the central terminal. In the terminal, cars are classified and assembled into trains by yardmen whose skill and judgment spells safety for cars and contents, as well as personnel. In the yard office, accounting and recording methods have been modernized. To handle the greater volume of business and ensure accuracy, business machines have been installed. Cards are punched with complete information on each shipment, ensuring accurate and instantly available records. Our railroad maintains its own communication system, connecting all points in an 8-state network. Each terminal has its crew clerks, who are kept busy calling the engineers, the firemen, the brakemen, and the conductors necessary to man the many trains that leave a terminal each day. Before leaving on their run, engineers and conductors sign the register and check their watches with a standard clock. Because time is the standard upon which the railroad runs, trainmen check their watches at every opportunity. The engine crew climb into the cab, while the brakeman puts up the markers that will make this string of cars a train. The train, however, cannot be moved until the car inspector removes the blue flag, which was placed for the safety of the men working under and around the cars. The conductor, receiving the waybills and his orders, gives the engineer the go-ahead by radio, and soon the train begins to roll. Except in centralized traffic control territory, the movement of trains is regulated by train orders. These orders are issued by the dispatcher to telegraphers at way stations along the line. They type copies of the orders and place them in train order boards, where they are picked up by the crews of passing trains. The radio telephone makes it a simple matter for the conductor to check with the engineer so that there is no misunderstanding of the orders. In this case, an order to take the next siding for a meet with another freight. To avoid any possibility of error or the overlooking of a signal, engineer and fireman call the indication of every signal they pass. Before signaling the train into the siding, the head brakeman checks the alignment of the switch points. Such habits are a good indication that safety has become second nature to transportation men. All railroad employees have a responsibility for the safe movement of passing trains. They make routine rolling inspections and indicate by the highball that all is in order. Centralized traffic control has been installed on many sections of the railroad, vastly increasing the flow of traffic over single track. One man, the dispatcher, working from aboard, controls electronically all switches for many miles. An illuminated track diagram gives him a picture in miniature of his railroad. It graphically shows the switches, the signals, main line and the sidings, and the location of all trains in the territory. Here, a manifest freight is switched onto a siding for a meet with one of the streamlined daylights. By the use of long sidings, the dispatcher is able to make running meets, keeping trains moving freely in both directions. Centralized traffic control is a solution to heavy traffic problems in mountainous territory where the construction of double track is extremely difficult. The Santa Margarita grade, with its famous horseshoe curve, is equipped with CTC. On arrival at an intermediate terminal point, crews leave the train. The motive power department takes over, uncoupling the engine and taking it for servicing. The modern railroad is a complex organization, depending upon perfect integration of the jobs of many departments for its efficient operation. At each terminal, the locomotive is thoroughly inspected, necessary fueling, sanding, lubricating, and other services performed. The men of the transportation department rely upon the thorough inspection of trains by car inspectors to safeguard them from the hazards of faulty equipment. Most major terminals have their repair track, where mechanics of the car department are equipped to make repairs to rolling stock. Round the clock in a busy terminal, you'll find trainmen having their coffee, relaxing, or eating after coming in off their runs. Others, next up on the board, may have time before their call for a hand or two of pinochle, or time to catch up on their reading. Servicing and inspection complete, a new crew takes over our train, and it is again on its way. When the scheduled freight arrives at its final destination, the cars are switched, some for local distribution, and others are reclassified for incorporation into trains going to more distant points. Here at one of Southern Pacific's modern hump yards, cars are inspected as they slowly move towards the hump. 4 car inspectors, from their vantage points in inspection towers and pits, thoroughly check each car for possible defects. From his elevated position in his tower at the top of the hump master is in complete control of the whole operation. As the cars slowly move over the hump, they are cut off according to destination and roll by gravity towards the various classification tracks. The retarder operator controls both speed and the route through the yard of the free-rolling cars by the use of electro-pneumatic retarders and switches. The safe coupling of cars in each classification track depends on the skill and judgment of the retarder operator. From his list, he knows the weight of each car and controls its speed accordingly. Less than carload shipments for local distribution are switched to the freight station. After the cars have been flagged for the protection of station employees, the seals are inspected and a record is taken before the cars are opened. Individual shipments are checked out of the cars and segregated for distribution. Local door-to-door delivery is made by railroad truck to Southern Pacific's thousands of less than carload customers. With terminals located at principal ports of the western seaboard, Southern Pacific is a vital link in transport and trade to the continents of the Pacific. There are also thousands of industries located on Southern Pacific's lines who are dependent upon our services and our people for the rapid and safe transportation of the raw materials and the finished products so important to our economy. We salute the men and the women of the Transportation Department, trainmen, enginemen or yardmen, freight handler, industrial clerk, or office employee. All, by performing their duties with safety and efficiency, are doing their part in maintaining our railroad as the transportation leader of the West.